What's up, everybody? My name is Zach, but you can call me the Z-Man, and welcome to this brand new show I'm starting called The Z-Man Show.
Wow, really?
Shut up.
Really?
Shut up. And since this is the first episode of a new series, I decided I needed to play a game that was special. A game that was important. A game that changed the way I think about video games as a whole. A game like Sonic 06.
No.
But
no.
Just
no.
No, come on. No, just let me.
No.
Fine, whatever. No. Play Sonic in the Secret Rings instead. You happy?
Whatever.
You know, Sonic's gotten a pretty bad rap over the years, with a lot of games that are supposed to make you tremble when you hear the name, like Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic 06. And while Sonic and the Secret Rings is supposed to be one of those games, it never was for me, and I think I know why. Growing up in small-town Nebraska. The one with the panhandle. No, this one, right here. Growing up in small-town Nebraska, I didn't have much in the way of video game consoles, instead relying on friends and family for my experiences, until one fateful day that my family got a Wii. Because of the Wii Fit. Used it for a month and then never again. But with that Wii came another game, Sonic and the Secret Rings, and it was because of that game that my love of video games was rejuvenated. And so without further ado, let's find out if this game is actually any good. Oh my god!
Why did you throw it?
I thought it would go in the console!
What made you think that?
I did worse for the other reviewers.
Yeah, that's called editing.
So it would be best to start a new game and... Huh, that's a nice little tune that could never get old. The game opens in Sonic's house? Weird. Where he is awoken by a genie of the ring named Shara. She quickly explains that she hails from the 1001 Arabian Nights, and that her world is being threatened by an evil genie named Razor Jin. Sonic sneezes, and after a quick, extremely binding master-slave contract, Shara whisks Sonic into the book. Now, I know what you're thinking. Literally into the book? That's insane. You'd be right. Once inside the book, the Razor Jin shows up with his completely unfitting voice.
I am the one who shall carve up this world as I see fit.
I swear, it's like he's both overacting and underacting at the same time. I can't even be mad, that's just impressive. It turns out Razor Jin has tasked Shara with finding the 7 world rings that bind the book together, and that Shara has not been complying. This of course makes the Razor Jin livid, so he decides to punish Shara. Sonic intervenes and as a result receives a flame to the chest, which explains the box art. And the game's working title. So now it's Sonic's job to gather all the 7 world rings before the flame extinguishes by traveling through all the various stories of the Arabian Nights and meeting all new characters like King Eggman, Owly Tails Baba, and Knuckles the Sinbad. Wait, these are all Sonic's friends, but they don't recognize him for some reason. Which means that only Sonic can see these characters, which in turn would mean that this is all in his head. None of this is real. All of this is pointless.
Who the heck are you?
The worst part is that none of these characters even need to be here. Eggman only serves to be kidnapped, Tails basically tells us where to go find Knuckles, and Knuckles tells us rudimentary Pokemon typing advantages.
Why not just try splashing some water on him?
No duh, Knuckles. After a rather...
Tilting the Wii remote to the left and right with the lock-on navigation.
Interesting prologue, things just sort of happen. Sonic and Shara finally go off on their adventure. They save King Shahryar, fight a giant scorpion, get chased by dinosaurs, save Sinbad the pirate.
Try splashing some water on him.
I know, Knuckles! All these events only serve to get Sonic to one of the 7 levels in this game. For example, Sonic and Shara race to save King Shahryar only to have him kidnapped to the Dinosaur Jungle where Sonic and Shara save him. What purpose did this serve? What was accomplished? This entire sequence is so Egg King can show Sonic the very next level. There's also elements to this story that just make no sense. Eraser desperately wants Sonic to get the world rings for him and then puts enemies in his path to stop him. In fact, in the Evil Foundry, Eraser summons the Ifrit Golem to destroy Sonic and the world. So A, Eraser is summoning this giant creature that can kill Sonic, who he wants to find the secret rings for him, and B, once Sonic finally uses Knuckles' advice and defeats the Ifrit Golem, out pops one of the world rings that Eraser wants us to gather for him. So, in summation, Eraser has the ability to summon a creature that holds a world ring within it. And it's not the first time either. The giant scorpion had a ring inside of it too, and heck, there's even a world ring just laying inside of the Eraser Djin's palace. Why do you even need Sonic? All of the world rings are literally out in the open for the taking. It just makes no sense.
No, it makes sense.
Wait, what?
Don't worry, it'll make sense at the end.
Oh, okay. At least there's some underlying intrigue surrounding the world rings. For some reason, Sonic is the only one able to physically interact with these rings. When Shara tries, her hand passes right through them, making it seem as though they don't actually exist in her world. On top of that, each of the world rings seem to be imbued with some sort of emotion, like joy or sadness or rage. Which of course begs the question, what the hell are these things? The only thing we know for sure is that they're supposed to represent the 7 emotions of the storybook, but they definitely seem to originate from outside the story. Perhaps they're extensions of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, or perhaps they're the locks binding some evil presence like the Eraser Djinn inside the book. Unfortunately, all of this gets glossed over, leaving you wondering why any of these elements were included in the story at all. You know what? Enough about the story. Sonic's never been about the story. Gameplay is what's important. So let's go ahead and start the gameplay with Sand Oasis Act 1.
3, 2, 1, go!
And it's here in the very first level that we see many people's biggest complaint about the game.
Why is Sonic so slow?
Well, that's actually very easily explainable. Secret Rings is part RPG.
Wait, really?
Yup! Sonic and the Secret Rings was released around that same time that every game and their mother needed to have some semblance of RPG elements, and unfortunately Sonic was no different. After each level you complete, Sonic gets ranked on his time, his rings, and other bonuses just like every other Sonic game. Only this time, those points you receive get converted into experience that allows Sonic to level up. Each level gives Sonic more skill points that he can use to equip different skills to his Genie Ring. These skills can range from adding a fire element to your stop attack, to smoother side-to-side movement, or the ability to accelerate quicker. Really? Alright, I have no problems with RPG elements in video games. Some of my favorite games have them, but Sonic is not a game that needs them. Especially if you have to deliberately make Sonic slower and harder to play. It is true that late game Sonic becomes actually really powerful and fun to play, but early game Sonic is just so slow that you don't want to play the game that long. Now the actual control scheme for Sonic and the Secret Rings is fairly simple, and mostly motion controlled. Yeah, I know, motion controls suck, but somehow the motion controls are actually the more responsive part of this game. As you've seen, Secret Rings plays as an on-rails platformer, where Sonic constantly wants to move forward and all the player has to do is avoid obstacles and maybe some basic platforming. His movement scheme, which is attached to the Wiimote's gyro controls, feels and works pretty well. Tilt forward and you move forward, side to side and you move side to side. Heck, even Sonic's homing attack, which is accomplished by flicking the Wii Remote forward, is really intuitive and feels satisfying to use. It's actually the controls that are mapped to the buttons that somehow suck. For starters, Sonic's jump is accomplished with the 2 button, but Sonic can't just jump. No, he needs to get ready to jump, meaning a quick press of the 2 button only nets you a quick jump dash, only useful for getting over small obstacles and gathering speed once you unlock the quick dash ability. If you want to reach that higher ledge, you need to hold the 2 button, causing Sonic to skid to a stop until the button is released and Sonic leaps through the air. Usually. Sometimes though, Sonic refuses to jump, meaning that he crashes into whatever damaging obstacle he's hurtling towards. Don't run straight into the cactus, Sonic, what are you doing? And it doesn't help that some of the level designs just aren't laid out well. The bookend worlds of Sand Oasis and Night Palace are fun, fast-paced, with only a little bit of platforming. But then there are levels like the Dinosaur Jungle and Pirate Storm. Obstacles everywhere, precision platforming, forced backtracking. They suck, they just don't work in this type of game. Luckily, if you want to skip the bad level design, you can use one of Sonic's 2 new moves. Pressing down on the directional pad activates Time Break, which lets you hit fast-moving springs and see hidden fire emblems for completion. But pressing up on the D-pad gives you Speed Break, where Sonic runs at super speeds, obliterating most everything in his way. Fairly reminiscent of a move from a future Sonic game. Woo!
It's possible to get used to some of the control issues with multiple playthroughs like I have, which does not excuse the issues at all. They are not fun, not responsive, and lead to many cheap deaths.
Alright, enough of this. Let's go back to the story.
Once Sonic defeats the Egg Ifrit thingy, Sonic and Char decide to go meet with King Solomon because they're out of logical next steps. After an arduous level, King Solomon tells us where we can find the Eraser Djinn for the final confrontation.
I sense death approaching.
Alright, that's gotta be the same voice actor from before, right? I mean, how does he do that?
Oh my god, this song, it plays constantly!
All in all, the soundtrack for Secret Rings isn't so bad. For example, I love Let the Speed Mended and White of Sky, but other levels like Dinosaur Jungle and Pirate Storm just aren't as good. The soundtrack is mostly harmless except for the game's main theme, Seven Rings in Hand, because they have to play this song over and over and over and over and over and over. Mission select screen, 7 Rings in Hand. Beat the level, 7 Rings in Hand. Windy Hill from Smash Bros. For Wii U, 7 freaking Rings in Hand.
In my bare minimum playthrough of this game for the review, I heard this song 95 times.
Seriously?
I know, right?
And so we make it to the final level of the game. A level of magnificent scenery and weird bullshit. Oh, and Big the Cat breakdancing, for some reason. It's here that we find Eraser Djinn for the final, ultimate, decisive, climactic battle. I won. Eraser Djinn then retreats behind a door that has 7 ring-shaped keys and... credits?
That can't be the end of the game. There has to be more.
But wait, there's more! After you get the 7 Chaos Emerald, World Rings, the final level opens. So, spoilers in case you care, but I don't think you need to, just covering my tracks. Sonic, of course, uses the rings to open the door, and behind the door is Eraser and a room full of junk? Well, that was a letdown. Eraser tells Char to give him the world rings, and she obliges. Eraser then spouts off the prophecy of the world rings.
But the life of the collector of the rings shall be offered up in sacrifice as the key for that control.
See? It does make sense.
What does?
The prophecy. If Eraser had gathered up the world rings all by himself, he would have needed to sacrifice himself. But by making Sonic gather the world rings, now he can sacrifice Sonic.
Huh, that does make sense, except... no, it still doesn't.
He could have set the rings in Sonic's path instead of placing them inside horrifying monsters that could have killed Sonic. One of them was even inside a bomb, inside a fire demon. So of course, Eraser tries to sacrifice Sonic, only to hit Shara, who throws herself in front of Sonic. Eraser absorbs the power of the rings and transforms into... oh my god. And if that wasn't crazy enough, 3 of the world rings reject the Eraser Djinn and go into Sonic instead, creating Darkspine Sonic. Totally OC fan character, do not steal.
Now I remember this boss fight. It's really obtuse and difficult to know what you're doing because the game just doesn't tell you.
You can always fill the soul gauge by moving the wing.
That or apparently I wasn't paying attention when I first played this game.
The actual boss fight is rather disappointing. Dodge the obstacles, speed break at the right moment, beat the living crap out of his chest ball, and boom, you win. Eraser then reverts back to his original form, and Sonic uses the genie's lamp in order to restore the Arabian Nights, bring Shara back to life, and trap the Eraser Djinn forever.
And that's it. That's Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Cutscene's not over.
Nope, it's over.
The game's still playing.
It's definitely over.
We're both looking at the same screen.
Those are good credits right there.
The game is still going. I'm looking at the TV right now.
Alright, fine! Shara cries so Sonic wishes for a mountain of handkerchiefs so Shara can cry as much as she wants to. And that's it. That's the ending to Sonic and the Secret Rings. Freaking take a good ending and ruin it, Sonic Team, you pieces of... So, that was Sonic and the Secret Rings, and it was not good.
The game's plot makes no sense, the gameplay is frustrating, and the level design is doubly so. The game is pretty short as well, clocking in at about 4 hours. I guess you can extend the gameplay with all the extra challenge missions, but have you actually ever played those? Seriously, how am I supposed to not touch any of the pearls in this stage? I didn't even go over the gallery that you get for completing goals in the game, or the multiplayer mode, which is just a Mario Party ripoff, because they aren't worth the bother.
and yet I still enjoy playing this game. It makes no sense at all considering all I just said, but when this game gets it right, it can be fast and chaotic and give you a great sense of Sonic's true speed. Plus, this is the game that got me back into video games. Heck, this is the game that got me into YouTube at all. Remember that final boss I said was obtuse? Yeah, I had to go onto YouTube to look up how to beat it, and that's what brought me to my new favorite form of entertainment. That's what brought me here. So maybe it's not a good game, but most of us have that one guilty pleasure, and this one just happens to be mine. I wouldn't recommend this game for most people unless you're a big Sonic fan that wants to see all that Sonic has to offer. And even then, it's not necessary because it's not like this game is canon, right?
No stranger than rescuing genies and magic books and genies and magic books.
Genies and magic books.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate you for watching, and as a bonus, I'll show you a blooper of me lip-syncing City Escape, for whatever reason. But first, let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below, and if you really enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone that you also think would enjoy. You can also follow me on Twitter, @Zmann4491. So, without further ado, here's me lip-syncing City Escape. Because I hate myself.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow.
And now that's an outtake.